Now it's day 18 of the Russian invasion into Ukraine, and Moscow's forces are now pacing towards the Ukrainian capital. The city of Kiev is witnessing Russian advancement from three directions: the north, the west and the northeast. Some Ukrainian officials say that the capital city is already effectively under siege. Russian artillery targeted an ammunition depot in the Ukrainian town of Vasylkiv. It is located on the outskirts of Kiev. This caused hundreds of small explosions. A Ukrainian airbase was also destroyed. A frozen food warehouse outside Kiev was also struck. The attack on the food warehouse is now being seen as an attempt to target the city's food supply chain. Ukraine's military intelligence service has said that Russian troops shot at a group of women and children. These were evacuees who were leaving a village near Kiev. 7 evacuees, including one child, has been killed. Peremoga is a small village in Ukraine located in the northeastern suburbs, a route that Russian troops are now using to advance towards the capital. Ukraine has accused Russia of committing a war crime by deliberately targeting innocent civilians. Ukrainian servicemen escorted people out of the town of Irpin. Men in military uniform holding guns also stood guard as people crossed a makeshift bridge.
Сейчас всячески помогаем украинским беженцам попасть туда, куда они хотят, из зон боевых действий. Вот. Вывозим на своих машинах, у друзей берем машины, вывозим людей в безопасное место, всячески помогаем, чтобы им было уже, им не было страшно и не переживали. А так делаем то, что должны делать.
Meanwhile, firemen rushed to extinguish fire after mortar shells hit a neighborhood in Kiev. On Saturday, air raid sirens were heard in several cities, including Kiev, Odessa, Dnipro and Kharkiv. In a strong message to Russia, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Russia would have to carpet bomb Kiev and kill its residents if it wanted to take the city. Listen in.
Якщо вони будуть робити коврове бомбардування і просто вирішать стерти історичну пам'ять всього цього регіону, історію Київської Русі, історію Європи, вони зайдуть в Київ.
Zelensky also said that around 1,300 Ukrainian troops have now been killed since the beginning of the invasion. He pointed out that Ukrainian and Russian negotiations had started and they were now discussing concrete steps rather than exchanging ultimatums. He also said that the West needs to be more involved to prevent Russia from invading other countries. Listen in.
Іноді мені здається, що деякі представники західного світу, поки я так говорю, тому що ми в жодному союзі нас немає, і тому я розділяю це. Мені здається, що вони будуть сидіти в кафе, і поки бомба не прилетить саме в це кафе, вони не повірять, що це станеться з ними. І до цього моменту ніхто небо закривати не буде.
For more details about what's actually happening in the Ukrainian capital Kiev, joining us now on this broadcast is the Executive Director at the Center for Civil Liberties, Sasha Romantsova. She joins us live at this point from Kiev. Sasha, thank you so much for joining us on WION at this hour.
Hello, really glad to hear you and have a possible to speak.
Absolutely. My first question to you, you are in the capital as we speak. The Russian air assault is widening to the west and Moscow is now striking military bases outside the city of Lviv, in fact near the Polish border. The Polish president has also said that the use of chemical weapons by Russia and Ukraine could prompt NATO to consider its decision not to intervene militarily. I want your perspective. What's happening in Ukraine, particularly in the capital as we speak?
In capital, if you are sitting exactly in capital, you heard first of all bombing and shelling from west side. It's true, and in some place because we have a big open streets, so you can see even smoke at the end of the city. But exactly inside city, it's quiet because there are no people there. Mostly people sitting in bomb shelters or. Like we are, if we are going somewhere, we do that really fast, and it's quiet place. If we understand it, like usual, it's 5 million people inside the city. Now, our mayor told that half of this population left city, so now it's really quiet place where you just hearing bombing. For sure, we don't hear some gun shelter, but it's still, I think it's still possible. But Kiev really good defense now. We have like a place with a whole, it's like a castle now, and it's specific of geography Kiev because we have left and right bank of Dnieper, and
right.
Dnieper it's really big river. Right bank it's really high, so it's a hills, and it will be. I can even imagine that some army have a decision to come here because it will be self-killing because it's impossible here to be really successful in battle, and huge number of the people comes like volunteer. Military volunteers, so we have a queue, we have lines to the punct where you can start to be a volunteer, who have a possibility to have a gun and be a defender of city. So I think it's really will be a stupid decision if they decided to do that, come inside the city.
Right. Sasha, just give me a sense of what do people in Kiev feel at this moment. We are getting reports that Russia and Ukraine are talking. There are more negotiations ongoing. They are now negotiating about the terms to end this war instead of just giving each other ultimatums. Is there any hope at this moment? What are Ukrainians, especially in the capital Kiev, feeling?
You know, Maybe from one side, we first time in this during this 8 years, we're feeling really true in our action, because before that we have always negotiation with Russia Federation. We never fight back for east part. We never fight back to the Crimea. It's really lied to that we're feeling something in east. It's not true. Whole our militaries waiting and have a patience through the 8 years, and now we are really. We are fighting. All the people who have a guns fighting like a guns, who have a possibility to prepare some food for militarians do that. Who organized, self-organized evacuation. They help to children, eldest people, even animals left the city, which can be really hard. So if we will speak about feeling, I don't know. Maybe sometimes it's scary, but first of all, it's a struggle. So first of all, we are feeling that we really want that this army go out from our territory and stop lying and stop do all exactly they want. We have a huge number of connections with human rights defenders from Russia Federation, and
right.
We know that nobody inside the Russia Federation can even understand how many people here from their army dying, how many people comes to like hostages, and we're trying to give them this information, to give the surnames and names soldiers who even not understand that they was sending to Ukrainian to fight in the war, because nobody told them true. So it's not only Russia Federation trying to lie to the international community, they really lie for inside their own population. So for us, like human rights defenders, it's catastrophic, because it's not only struggle for even like values of democracy for us, for Ukrainians, but same for people inside the Russia Federation. We understood that if we are not win, it will be 150 million people who can understood how
right.
exactly.
Sasha, I just want to. I'm afraid
rights.
We're running out of time. I just want to take one last question from you about the President Zelensky. He has said that, in fact, in a way to bolster his own army, he has said that Russia will have to carpet bomb Kiev and kill its residents if it wanted to take the city. He's obviously trying to inspire confidence among Ukrainians. What do you feel about that?
It's because it's true. No, even just imagine that even, for example, if it's happened like this, our president turn off for connection and will not come in, nobody stop Ukrainians to defend their city. So if they truly want to take city, they truly need to kill all the people here, because all the people will be fighting. I'm a human rights defender. I don't like fighting, but I understood that population will do that without president or with him or without him, without militarians or without them. Ukrainians will fight.
Absolutely. Sasha, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast, and thanks so much for all those inputs. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.